Hey everyone! In this video today, I want to show you guys how to make this super fun and interesting sort of stitched friendship bracelet. This is actually the exact same knotting structure as a video I uploaded a very long time ago. If you remember, it is the knitted friendship bracelet, and it's very outdated, so even though this is kind of a remake, you can tell obviously this is a very different technique, and I'm gonna put a lot more information in this video. So if you want to learn how to make this super cool looking bracelet, then keep on watching. So for this bracelet, you are only going to need variegated thread. Whatever you have works as long as you have this color changing effect. And the color changing is what is going to help us get this super cool random knotting that you see on this bracelet. I would recommend at least having 2 skeins. With the string count, with how big your wrist is, and how long you want to make your ties, and what kind of ties you want to make, all that stuff needs to go into consideration when you map out your strings. Now I made a 6-inch bracelet, and with about 35 inches, more or less, I was able to make this full bracelet and have just enough ties on the end. So adjust that accordingly to you. And usually I measure off my clipboard, and that's how I know how to measure my string count. So I'm just going to use a tape measure here to make it a lot easier to show you guys. What I like to do is, pretty roughly at least, kind of measure my 9 inches here and then add like a little bit extra, and then I wrap this about 3 more times. So I have my mark here, and then I'm gonna let all of this string go, and this whole string here from the end to my point that I marked is 1 string. So let's backtrack for a second. You can have as many strings as you want. This one right here has 10, and it really just shows this beautiful technique in full. And if you do want to have more strings, you definitely want to have more than 2 skeins of your thread so that you can account for all of the strings you'll need. So yeah, this is 10, and do literally as many as you want, because when we start the tutorial, it won't matter how many strings you have, you can still follow the video. So I have my point here, and I'm just gonna pull out all my string. I only got 6 strings, and this is all I have left. So I'm just gonna cut it off here. And I'm going to cut the bottom loops here so that I have my strings all halved out. If you don't want to make a threaded loop like I am going to show, you can just snip these off and then you can have ties, but I'm gonna leave this here. So I am just going to pick out a random string, and this will be the start of my threaded loop. So if you don't know how to make one, there are plenty of tutorials out there by now. And I'm gonna slide it over from the midway point just a little bit so that I don't have to worry about flipping my strings around and all that. So I'm definitely not gonna need a super big loop since this will be really thin ties, so we'll just go ahead and go with that. So with my threaded loop, I am going to make a shape start. But before we do our shape start, you want to go ahead and kind of take a look at all of your strings, because the placement is going to be fairly important, because you'll want to see exactly how your colors are changing next to each other in the row. And if you are making a loop and you want to do a square knot to close that up and then have all these strings together, then it'd be easier to kind of figure out where you want these to go. But you kind of want to have your colors all staggered, because that's kind of the beauty of this bracelet. If you see on this one, it started out super strong here, and then you can see here the colors kind of mixed together for a while, and while it is a really pretty gradient, it just looks really cool to have this staggered effect in it. But yeah, take your time, figure out the order you want your strings to go in, and then I will continue my loop. We are pretty much just going to do the pattern, but without all of the extra strings. This will make more sense once we have the pattern ready, but just follow my lead. We're going to take our middle 2 strings and take the left one and do a forward backward knot. And because we are closing this gap up, we might need to fiddle with the strings a little bit so that it stays where you want it to. And now we can bring the next strings. We have our middle 2 strings. You pick up the outer left and right from it, and then we'll bring them into the group. And we are going to go kind of backwards here. So from the right side, take these 2 strands, and with this right strand here, you're going to do a backward forward knot, and then when you have that string knotted, you'll take your leading string, put it back over, and then the bass string now becomes the knotting string. So you'll pick up the next string to the left of it, and you will do a backward forward knot onto it. And again, you finish that knot, take the leading strand, put it off to the right side, and now the bass strand becomes the leading strand. And then we'll do a backward forward knot again onto the string to the left of it. And don't worry if it is a little holy at the top. I can never get it perfect. And because I have 6 strings, I can now bring all of my strings in and start the pattern. Now if you have more strings, you'll want to keep bringing in those 2 outer strings until you bring your very outermost left and right strands into the group. Because once you have all of these in, we can officially start the pattern. And also, depending on your string count, you may end up on the left side or you may end up on the right. So with this row, with 6 strings, I ended on backward forward knots, which means I'm ready to start on the left side. If you're ready to start on the right side, check all of the timestamps in the description box. You can go exactly where you need to. So because we are ready to start on the left side, we are going to do our forward backward row. We are going to start on our outermost left strand, and we are going to do a forward backward knot onto the string to the right of it. And with this knotting string, put it back over where it was, and this bass string now becomes the new knotting strand. So we'll pick up the string to the right of it and do a forward backward knot onto it. and then the leading strand goes over, and now the base strand becomes the new knotting strand. So now we have the next string in line, forward backward knot onto it. And then leading strand goes off to the side, base strand becomes the new leading strand. Pick up the next one in line and do the forward backward knot. Off to the side, new leading strand, do a forward backward knot onto the string to the right of it, and keep repeating that if you need to until you have all of your strings knotted. Now that we've moved over to the right side, we are ready to do our backward forward knot row. And if this is the side you ended on when we did our shape start, then this is where you'll want to follow. So this time, take your outermost right strand, pick up the next string in line, and do a backward forward knot onto it. And then the leading strand goes out to the side, and the base strand is our new leading strand. So you'll pick up the next string in line to the left of it, do a backward forward knot, and then put that string off to the side again. Base strand becomes the new leading strand. So then we'll pick up the next string in line on the left, do a backward forward knot, off to the side, base strand becomes the leading strand, and then pick up the next one in line, backward forward knot, leading strand off to the side, base strand is the new leading strand, pick up the next string in line to the left of it and do a backward forward knot, leading strand off to the side, and you'll keep repeating that until you have all your strings in the row completed. And that is all you do throughout this whole bracelet. It does get a little boring to knot because it's only those two steps and they go in a straight line, but once you get in the groove, it is very quick to work up and very easy. And your hands may feel a little bit awkward while you are switching those over, especially if you're right-handed and you have to cross over this way, left-handed, that way. But once you get this down, you can do it very efficiently and really quickly, and switching your hands and all that, you'll just find the muscle memory to be able to do that way quicker without it feeling so awkward. Now really quickly, I want to show you guys how to do a shaped end, because it's only fair, like we did our shaped start. If you want to just make your ties and the bracelet here, that's completely fine, but I'm going to go ahead and show this. So when you are just about to hit the length of your bracelet, like say you have just a few rows left, this is where you want to stop and make your shaped end, because we're going to do a few more rows but with the triangle end. So first we will take out our left and right strands, and this row I ended on a backward forward, so this means we're going to start on the left and do forward backward, and the opposite can be true for you, but I'm going to take my outermost left strand and do a forward backward knot, and literally I am just going to do the forward backward knot row like we have been doing in the tutorial. It's the same exact steps, except we're just leaving strings out. And now that we've completed that row, we are going to take the newest outermost right and left strands out, and then we'll do our backward forward knot row. And then again, take out your outermost left and right strands. And then we'll do our forward-backward knot row. And if you have more strings or if you have less, you'll just keep doing that until you have only 2 strings left. And then your shaped end is already completed. Now, if you have an odd number of strings, obviously you're only going to have 1 string left in the middle, so when you get to that point, then you're finished. And then we'll do that cute threaded end that I don't remember the name of, but it just kind of polishes off the edges of the bracelet. There are also plenty of tutorials on this sort of thing out there. And if you want to skip this step entirely as well, then please do. Do whatever you like and what you are comfortable with. And then you will go ahead and tie off your ends. And then, when you are finished, your bracelet will be fully complete and super awesome looking. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I know it's packed with a lot more information, so I hope that it was decently easy to follow. I mean, anything has to be better than the video I made as a kid. But I think this technique is so awesome and no 2 bracelets should end up being the same. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.